Hello, you're watching New Vision TV News. My name is Lynn Komjisha. Thank you for joining us. Here's what's coming up in our bulletin. In news around Uganda, Elegu residents are still stranded after floods scare. Now, Bukedde has marked its silver jubilee. The Archbishop-elect KAZIIMBA has been welcomed. In news around the East African region, OWALO to hit back at his former boss, opposition leader Raila Odinga. Now, for our news around the world, South Africa has appointed a new national coach. In our special report today, we meet two brothers minting millions from passion fruits. Now, for news around Uganda, hundreds of people are still stranded with nowhere to call home after floods hit the border town of Elegu again. The floods, according to the local Cancer 3 representative, Michael OKEMA OPILO, submerged into people's homes in the late hours of Monday night. We have these details.
This is what is left of many people's homes, businesses, gardens, churches, and the health centers on the border of Uganda and South Sudan. Residents wear miserable faces since there is nowhere to run to, especially in the night. Elegu has a population of over 5,000 people who are now calling for quick intervention from the government.
metegi konywani gito tusubira okusula kuno ku luguudo nga we mulaba kuba oyinza oyingira ennyumba ne bakutwala buli muntu ali eyo emanju bonna bakise bali eno ku luguudo wali muntu aliyo kuba 213 gatta n'abantu kati gano gatuyamye nti gazibisana.
Most of a garden is already water is covered, it is already they are lost, and another people they are up on the tree, another up on the house, another run on the road. Right now I talk, most of the people, they are in the road.
This is the third time this year floods have hit Elegu. At around 1 p.m. on Monday, as many were locked in their homes, the rainwater started entering into their homes, cutting short the night sleep, according to LC3 representative Michael OKEMA OPILO.
The people today they affected business, all the business. If you sell the bar, you sell the dukan, you sell the food, hotel.
Lorico West LC1 chairperson Kasim Asule explains that most times when River Unyama bursts its banks, it affects most of the town. For the last 3 days, businesses are at a standstill and traders are counting losses.
At 2, exactly that was the time when water has started now reaching into my area of the district.
So it started from the other side of the road?
It started there, the eastern part of the Elegu, that's called MOROCCO East, the village. And then it has crossed now, right now, as per now I'm talking, it has crossed now to Lorica West, where my village is, where Elegu town market is.
He adds that even animals have been affected.
It has affected them even right now. One cattle keeper called Tambala, called me that even the water is attacking them seriously. I don't know by that right now, the situation for those animals.
However, the OC Elegu police station was so Peter Fault's locals for ignoring flood warnings.
We had to put on announcements for people to be ready that the floods are coming, and we went door to door informing the people to go to the main roads because most of all houses are flooded.
Humans can be faulted, but there are families that have been established here for decades. It will take courage to abandon a place many call home and others see as a source of income. For now, it will be a long wait for the water to sink into the soil as many spend nights in warehouses and on dry streets to wait for aid. This report was compiled by Joseph Umagol for New Vision TV.
In Kampala, today, Bukedde newspaper celebrated 25 years of existence at the Vision Group head offices. The function, filled with pomp and color, was attended by staff and religious leaders, politicians and well-wishers. The Luganda-speaking entity has bloomed through the years, developing other platforms to serve its ever-growing audience. On October 29th, Bukedde TV will celebrate 10 years. August 28th, Bukedde Radio marked 10 years. Having started with baby steps in 2002, the Bukedde website has been running for 17 years now. The editor-in-chief, Barbara Kaijo, says it has been 2.5 decades of achievement for the Bukedde media brand, and it has grown by leaps and bounds. Let's take a look at how the Silver Jubilee was celebrated. From Mukono District, following the election of the Bishop of Mityana Diocese, Dr. Stephen KAZIIMBA Mugalu, as new Archbishop of the Church of Uganda, people in Mukono, where KAZIIMBA was posted as vicar in 1999, are excited over his new achievement. Those who closely interacted with him at the time are showing off projects he steered during his reign. Bishop KAZIIMBA replaces His Grace Stanley Tagali and will be consecrated as the 9th Archbishop in March 2020. Closing off news around Uganda is a story from Elegu district. Amidst anti-malaria drugs stockouts, cases of malaria-related deaths have caused panic among the Elegu district health officials. While briefing journalists and officials from World Vision on the progress of the fight against malaria, the district malaria focal person, Joseph Ochite, said they have recorded 147 deaths in the last 3 months. The malaria prevalence rate in the district, according to Ochite, has shot from 17% to 95%. He added that most of the district health facilities are experiencing drug shortages because of the latest upsurge. The latest increase, Ochite said, is also attributed to people abandoning the use of treated mosquito nets. The crops planted in yards are another cause the authorities noted for the recent malaria cases. We now take a look at news around the East African region. News from South Sudan. Sahara Group says it remains resolute in its decision to contribute to the growth and development of South Sudan's economy through investment in the oil and power sectors. Tope Shonubi, the group's executive director, said this during a courtesy call on South Sudan's President Salva Kiir Wednesday. Now in Kenya, management consultant Elegu OWALO has found an opportunity to hit back at his former boss, opposition leader Raila Odinga, by contesting in the Kibra by-election. ANC bigwigs unveiled OWALO Wednesday at the party headquarters to contest against Jubilee and ODM candidates in the ODM stronghold. In news around the world, in Sudan, Sudan's new premier delayed announcing his picks for the first cabinet since the ouster of veteran ruler Omar al-Bashir in order to continue mulling nominees. Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok, who took the oath last week, was set to name his key picks from a field put forward by the Forces for Freedom and Change, a grouping born of a movement that initially took to the streets against Bashir's 30-year rule and then forced the military rulers who deposed him to share power. The new government was due to be announced Wednesday in accordance with the timeline provided with the deal signed early in August between the FFC and the generals. In South Africa, Lesotho has appointed South African Thabo Senong as national coach just 7 days before they play a 2022 World Cup qualifier in Ethiopia. The former South Africa under-20 coach succeeds Moses Malehe, who resigned recently due to continuous ill health. Lesotho play Ethiopia away on September 4th and at home September 8th, with the winners advancing to the group phase, which begins next month. In Morocco, at least 7 people were killed yesterday when a river burst its banks and flooded a village football pitch where a game was being played in South Morocco. The victims included a 17-year-old boy and 6 elderly men who were attending the match in the village of Tizat in the Taroudant region. Searchers rescued one man who was injured by the flood and were looking for another missing person. The river overflowed and submerged the pitch where an amateur football tournament was underway. News from Mali. Protesters blocking key roads into Bamako Wednesday lifted their barricades after negotiations with the government to allow transport to flow into the city. More than 1,000 trucks had been blocked at the entrance to the Malian capital after 4 days of protests over the poor state of the country's roads. On Tuesday night, Transport Minister Ibrahim Abdoulaye announced a deal had been reached with protest organization Sirako, which means about the roads, in the West African country's Bambara language. In Britain, Prime Minister Boris Johnson's suspension of Parliament weeks before Britain's EU departure date faced legal challenges today following a furious outcry from pro-Europeans and members of Parliament opposed to a no-deal Brexit. The Conservative leader announced a surprise decision Wednesday to dismiss Parliament, known as proroguing, for nearly 5 weeks next month, claiming it was necessary to allow him pursue a bold and ambitious new domestic agenda. But the move sent shockwaves through the British political system, which relies on centuries of precedents and conventions instead of codified constitution. Let's take a break and return with news in business.